night on my live, which I'm going to play a little bit of the footage later on in this video. One thing I can say is that it's looking real spooky for these WNBA reporters jumping out the window before crossing the I's and dotting all the damn T's before they get to reporting on stuff and making sure they're reporting credible information. Now, we have another case coming out of the Connecticut pretty much media that was a bold-faced lie. I mean, a lie that was so bad, it sent shockwaves throughout the damn.
Recent developments have confirmed that Caitlin Clark will not participate in this year's All-Star game, despite being selected as one of the team captains. The decision comes after Clark appeared to suffer a significant groin injury during recent play, with images circulating widely showing her in visible distress and covering her head with a towel. Clark issued an official statement via Twitter addressing her withdrawal from the event. In her message, she expressed enthusiasm for Indianapolis hosting the WNBA All-Star Weekend and acknowledged the tremendous effort put forth by the Indianapolis host committee and organizers who have worked tirelessly over the past year to coordinate the event. She conveyed deep regret about being unable to participate in the three-point contest that was scheduled, explaining that after attempting to play through the injury, she realized her body needed proper rest and recovery.
The damn WNBA today, dog. Let's pull it up. Now, this WNBA reporter initially stated this: a fan who was escorted out of TD Garden for touching Sancho Rivers, she called it out immediately, and he was escorted up the stairs and out. The fan appears to be an Indiana Fever fan, and he was wearing a Fever tee and was sitting courtside. Now, she made it her basically business.
The timing of this announcement has drawn attention, particularly regarding how the organization handled communication about Clark's status. Previous statements from coach Stephanie White suggested that the decision regarding Clark's participation was entirely up to the player and her team, which some observers felt was an attempt to shift responsibility away from the organization. Clark's withdrawal comes at a time when she continues to dominate headlines for positive reasons as well. She recently secured another ESPY award, marking her second consecutive year winning the WNBA Player of the Year recognition. The announcement of this honor generated massive social media engagement, with the post receiving over 35,000 likes, 700 comments, and nearly 600,000 views, numbers that far exceeded the engagement of other posts from the same period.
And was sitting courtside. Now, she made it her basically business to set out and say this Indiana Fever fan pretty much did this, which, I reacted to this thing live when it was all going down. Now, this is what she said about this after the fact when it came out that she freaking lied. She stated, for clarity, when this incident occurred, I consulted with multiple sources who shared with me what they witnessed. Of course, it was not possible to get Rivers' account mid-game. Now,
The award ceremony featured a representative accepting the honor on Clark's behalf, with commentary highlighting her transformative impact on the game and her ability to attract new audiences to women's basketball. The presenter noted Clark's exponential contribution to growing the sport and her dynamic playing style that excites fans and inspires the next generation of players. Despite the positive recognition, Clark's absence from the All-Star festivities has generated mixed reactions. Some social media commentary has been supportive, while other posts have contained inappropriate jokes and commentary about the player. The situation has also sparked discussions about how organizations handle player injuries and communication with fans who have purchased tickets expecting to see specific players perform.
Of course, it was not possible to get Rivers' account mid-game. Now, Rivers did speak to the media after this game. Now, I did get a hold of the press conference. It's here on the channel, bro, and it's quite long, too. So I put it out last night. You guys can check it out. And it stated, goes on to say, it was not possible to get Rivers' account. I had no reasons to doubt what was provided to me. Emily Adams' update has been shared in a separate tweet. Now, this is the tweet that she's referencing. Now, this is Emily Adams' tweet. She say,
the injury appears to have occurred during a three-point contest, with Clark grabbing her groin area and showing immediate signs of pain. Medical staff and team officials have been cautious about providing specific details regarding the severity of the injury or expected recovery timeline. This development adds another layer to what has been an eventful period for Clark, who has become one of the most recognizable faces in women's basketball. Her influence extends beyond just playing statistics, as evidenced by the exceptional social media and engagement numbers, and her ability to draw attention to WNBA events even when she's not participating.
Now, this is Emily Adams' tweet. She say, update Viva Sonya Rivers. The ejected fan did not touch her, bro. Right then and there. She put big bold letters, did not touch her. He made a comment that warranted his ejection. Rivers was in great spirits about it, joked that he wasted all that money on a seat just to get tossed. Now, the courtside seats are pretty high right now, man. I can't even lie to you. But make a long story short, this is another case of these damn...
The Indianapolis All-Star Weekend will proceed as planned, though organizers will need to adjust their promotional materials and event programming to account for Clark's absence. This situation highlights the challenge sports organizations face when marquee players are unable to participate in major events, particularly when tickets have been sold with the expectation of seeing specific athletes perform. Industry observers continue to monitor how the league and individual teams handle player health and safety communications, especially when it involves high-profile athletes whose presence significantly impacts event attendance and viewership. The situation also raises questions about the balance between player welfare and commercial interests in professional sports.
But make a long story short, this is another case of these damn WNBA media people pointing fingers at the Indiana Fever fan base. Now, let's take a look at the footage, me reacting to this thing as it happened last night after the game. Roll it.
I found it. Shout out to Jules. So Sonya Citron, right? It's a full video of what happened after Sonya Citron. So basically something happened. They're saying something happened. Let's see. This video don't have sound either. So
Clark's decision to withdraw rather than risk further injury has been praised by many as a responsible choice that prioritizes long-term health over short-term appearances. The move demonstrates maturity and professional judgment, qualities that have contributed to her reputation both on and off the court. The broader implications of this situation extend to discussions about injury management in professional sports, the pressure on star athletes to perform despite physical limitations, and the importance of transparent communication between organizations, players, and fans. As the All-Star Weekend approaches, attention will focus on how the event proceeds without one of its biggest draws and what this means for future similar situations.
This video don't have sound either. So they're pointing at a guy. They're pointing at a guy. They're clapping. He's getting up. Wow, he's wearing a Caitlin Clark shirt. He's probably pissed off that I was cheating, bro. Wow. They literally put him out.
A peculiar response from Stephanie White has raised questions about the Indiana Fever organization and their approach to handling Caitlin Clark's achievements. While White's basketball coaching credentials remain unquestioned, concerns about the organization's direction continue to surface. The relationship between Clark and the franchise appears to be evolving in ways that distance them from the typical narrative of building around a superstar player. Previously common discussions about Clark wanting to remain in Indiana long-term and the organization positioning itself as the premier destination in women's basketball have notably diminished. Instead, subtle messaging from within the Fever suggests they view themselves as being bigger than any single player, including Clark.
They literally put him out. She literally got a fan ejected, a Caitlin Clark fan ejected from the game. She got a Caitlin Clark fan ejected from the game. A man sitting courtside just got escorted out. Appears to have something to do with Sonya Rivers. So she got a fan ejected, a Caitlin Clark fan ejected. What is these comments saying? A fan was escorted out of TD Garden for touching Sonya Rivers. She called it immediately as she was escorted up the stairs and out. That fan appeared
This dynamic became particularly evident when White was asked about Clark's ESP award for WNBA Player of the Year, which she won during a game. The timing made it impossible for White to be unaware of the recognition, yet her response took an unexpected direction. When questioned about Clark's impact after receiving the honor, White acknowledged her continued success and barrier-breaking achievements. However, she immediately shifted focus to other players, mentioning league MVPs like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson, both championship winners, and even referencing Sue Bird's presence at the venue.
Who's the reason why the Indiana Fever are known across the globe? Only one coach decided to walk over to Caitlin Clark, put their hand on her back and say, "Everything all right, dude? You okay? Is something going on?" And for that, Austin Kelly, salute to you, aka the final boss. Just something I noticed last night. While coaches were turning their back on Caitlin Clark, while coaches were refusing to fight the referees for Caitlin Clark.
This pattern mirrors what some observers call the Kathy Engelbert approach, a tendency to deflect individual player recognition by immediately bringing up other athletes. When Clark is mentioned, the conversation turns to Angel Reese. When Paige Bueckers is discussed, Kiki Rice enters the conversation. Rather than celebrating the specific player being asked about, the response consistently redirects to highlight others. The approach seems designed to prevent any single player from receiving too much individual attention, possibly as a way to maintain team unity or prevent ego inflation. Yet Clark's basketball intelligence and competitive drive suggest she understands the need for championship success. Her NCAA tournament performance remains historically significant, arguably the greatest individual run in women's tournament history, culminating in a victory over what may have been the strongest college team ever assembled.
While coaches were refusing to fight the referees for Caitlin Clark, while coaches were refusing to get a technical foul with all the play that's been going on all season long, one coach in the mix at least recognized their star player in need and did their best. So Austin Kelly, salute to you. Let's get into the topic today. Caitlin Clark visibly upset with the referee, screaming on the referee, but gets no technical foul. Do you know what that told me? That told me whatever that referee said.
That South Carolina squad, featuring Aaliyah Boston and 10 future WNBA players, represented the pinnacle of college basketball excellence. Clark's ability to essentially single-handedly defeat such a powerhouse demonstrates her exceptional talent and clutch performance capability. White's complete response eventually acknowledged Clark's fortune in reaching the WNBA alongside her peers, emphasizing how current players serve as role models for future generations. She expressed pride in Clark's achievements and confirmed the organization's continued support, while stressing the importance of collective team success over individual accolades.
That told me whatever that referee said was a big no-no. Whatever that referee said, as soon as it left his mouth, he said, damn, I definitely should not have said that. Nah, I crossed the line. Because you don't get screamed on by a player like that. You don't get shown up on the court by a player like that and not call a technical foul unless you are in the wrong. The refereeing yesterday, we see Tina Charles.
The visual element of White wearing an Aaliyah Boston t-shirt during this discussion added another layer to the situation. While supporting teammates is admirable, and the entire team wearing Boston's W Slam magazine shirt showed excellent solidarity, the timing created an awkward juxtaposition when discussing Clark's individual recognition. The fundamental question remains why a straightforward question about Clark's ESP win couldn't receive a direct celebratory response. Other coaches, including opponents like Sandy Brondello, speak more positively about Clark than her own coach appears to in these moments. A simple acknowledgement of the achievement would have sufficed, recognizing the ESP as a significant honor, praising Clark as one of the game's best young talents, and then transitioning to team goals if desired. Instead, the response immediately elevated other players and essentially suggested Clark should be grateful for the league's existence.
Reading yesterday, we see Tina Charles hit AB with a stiff forearm, literally turns around and hits her with a stiff forearm. We see Sophie Cunningham get elbowed in her neck. No call. saying that she flopped. The referees yesterday, they were in a league of their own in terms of incompetence. It's the last time we saw the Connecticut Sun, you would think that we
This pattern extends beyond coaching comments to organizational behavior. When teammates like Angel Reese appear on video game covers or Boston Grace's magazine covers, the team rallies with custom t-shirts and celebrations. Clark's individual honors receive notably more subdued recognition.
The last time we saw the Connecticut Sun, you would think that we would have a crew that would set the tone saying, hey, all of this dirty play is not flying today. But when you're in the WNBA and you have not one, not two, but three incompetent officials all at one time, well, beggars can't be choosers. Let's start with the Sophie elbow, shall we? Sophie, look at this, folks. Boom!
The situation creates unnecessary friction with fans who expect their franchise player to receive appropriate recognition from her own organization. When external coaches and media personalities celebrate Clark more enthusiastically than her own team's leadership, it raises questions about the organization's priorities and messaging strategy.
Boom! Come on. Boom! Dude, what about that is basketball? What about that is basketball? You see her come and you peek over and you say, let me just cock back real quick. And this isn't plausible deniability. Oh, I didn't know she was there. No, you knew her there. Oh, I didn't know she was throwing. No, you knew you were throwing an elbow. This isn't as egregious. This isn't as vulgar. This isn't as physical. This isn't as assault worthy.
The Indiana Fever players themselves appear dedicated and hard-working, with clear chemistry and shared championship aspirations. They understand Clark's value to their success and maintain positive relationships.
As assault-worthy as when Ron Artest turned around and elbowed James Harden. But this has all the same build-up to that play. Peeking over, seeing who's there, realizing it's somebody you don't like, cocking back an elbow. I'm going to try to play this off the best as I can, but boom, swinging an elbow. No foul call over there. They said Sophie Cunningham flopped. Oh, that's a flop to you? Very interesting. Very interesting. Did AB flop over here?
The awkwardness seems concentrated at the organizational level rather than among the actual team members. This ongoing pattern of deflection and redirection when discussing Clark's achievements represents a missed opportunity for the organization to fully embrace their star player while still maintaining team unity. The approach risks alienating fans and creating unnecessary complications in what should be straightforward celebrations of individual and team success.
Did AB flop over here? Posting up, Tina Charles turns around and just decks her in the face. Stands over her. Like she did something. Stands over her like, little girl, keep your ass on the floor. Keep yourself on the floor, little girl. Like you just punched somebody, they fell down, you're like, you want to get up? You want some of this again?
This pattern extends beyond coaching comments to organizational behavior. When teammates like Angel Reese appear on video game covers or Boston Grace's magazine covers, the team rallies with custom t-shirts and celebrations. Clark's individual honors receive notably more subdued recognition, typically just social media posts rather than team-wide celebrations.